Welcome to Lore of the Rings, where we explore the secret paths of Middle-earth and share the stories Tolkien never told. Before we dive in, take a moment to tell us in the comments where you're tuning in from and whether this tale has found you by day or by night. There is a moment, frozen in the fires of Mount Doom, where the fate of all Middle-earth hung by a thread finer than spider's silk. The chamber trembles. Molten rock churns in the abyss below, casting writhing shadows across stone walls carved by the malice of ages. The air shimmers with heat and something worse, a presence, vast and invisible, pressing down upon two small figures standing at the edge of everything. Frodo Baggins, bearer of the ring, stands at the precipice of the Samath Nor. His face is hollow, his body wasted by torment and hunger, his spirit crushed beneath a burden no mortal was meant to carry. In his hand, or rather around his neck, burning against his skin, hangs the one ring forged in this very mountain, yearning to return to the fires that gave it form. But Frodo does not cast it in. He cannot. The ring has claimed him. In that terrible instant, standing at the edge of destruction, the last of Frodo's will crumbles. He speaks words that doom the world. The ring is mine. This is what happened. But what if it had been different? What if, in that moment of ultimate crisis, another hand had reached for the ring? Not Gollum, lurking in the shadows, driven by obsession and madness. Not some distant enemy or corrupted ally. What if it had been Samwise Gamgee? Sam, the gardener from Hobbiton, the loyal companion who had followed Frodo through every step of this nightmare, from the green fields of the Shire, through the darkness of Moria, across the dead marshes, into the spider's lair, and finally here, to the very heart of the enemy's domain. Sam, who had carried Frodo when Frodo could no longer walk. Sam, who had faced down Shelob and stormed the tower of Cirith Ungol. Sam, whose love for his master had been the one constant light in a journey consumed by shadow. What if Sam, seeing Frodo claim the ring, had made a different choice? What if, driven by desperation, by the need to save his friend to finish the quest, to prevent the horror he could see unfolding, Sam had taken the ring for himself? Imagine it. Sam's hand, calloused from years of honest work, trembling as it reaches toward the golden circle. His eyes, wide with fear and determination, fixed not on the ring but on Frodo, on the friend he has sworn to protect. His voice cracking with emotion. "I'm sorry, Mr. Frodo, I'm so sorry." And in that instant, the weight shifts. The ring changes hands. The world holds its breath, for Sam is not Frodo. He is not Aragorn, descended from kings. He is not Gandalf, a Maya clothed in mortal form. He is not Galadriel, ancient and powerful, who looked into the mirror and saw what she might become. Sam is a hobbit, simple, sturdy, loyal to the bone. He has no ambitions of power, no secret desires for greatness. He wants nothing more than to return to the Shire to tend his garden, to live a quiet life. And that is precisely what makes him dangerous, because the ring does not corrupt through obvious temptations. It does not offer thrones to those who do not desire them. It does not promise conquest to those who seek only peace. Instead, it whispers, it twists. It takes what you love most, what you cherish, what you would die to protect, and it shows you how power could preserve it, how power could perfect it, how power could save everything you hold dear. And for Sam, standing in the fires of Mount Doom, the ring would whisper of the Shire, of gardens that never wither, of fields that never fail, of a home so beautiful, so perfect, that no shadow could ever touch it again. All he would need to do is claim it. The chamber is silent now, save for the distant roar of the fires below. Frodo stares at Sam in shock and betrayal. Gollum, hidden in the darkness, watches with eyes that gleam with feral hunger. And somewhere impossibly far yet terribly near, the eye of Sauron turns. For the Dark Lord has felt it, a shift, a tremor in the fabric of his power. Someone has taken the ring, not destroyed it, not surrendered it, claimed it. And in that claiming, a new path unfolds. A road not taken in the true history of Middle-earth, but one that exists in the realm of terrible possibility. A timeline where the purest heart in the Fellowship makes a choice born of love and damns the world because of it. This is not the story as it was told. This is not the legend preserved in the Red Book of Westmark. not the tales sung in the halls of Gondor or remembered in the annals of the elves. This is the story that could have been. The story that, by grace or fate or the mercy of Iluvatar himself, did not happen. But to understand why it did not, why Sam's hand did not reach for the ring, why the quest succeeded, why Middle-earth endured, we must walk this shadow path to its end. We must see what would have happened if loyalty, pushed beyond its limits, had chosen power over sacrifice. We must witness the fall of Samwise Gamgee. For even the purest heart casts a shadow when touched by the One Ring. Before we descend further into this dark vision, we must understand the foundation upon which it stands. For this is not idle speculation or baseless fantasy. This alternate history is rooted in the deepest truths of Tolkien's legendarium, in the nature of the ring, the character of hobbits, and the mechanics of corruption that Tolkien spent decades refining. The question of Sam taking the ring is not new. It haunted Tolkien himself. In The Lord of the Rings, there is a moment, brief but profound, where Sam does possess the ring. After Shelob's attack, believing Frodo dead, Sam takes the ring intending to complete the quest alone. He carries it through the darkness. He wears it. And in those terrible hours, he experiences its power firsthand. Tolkien describes Sam's vision with precision. Already the ring tempted him, gnawing at his will and reason. Wild fantasies arose in his mind, and he saw Samwise the strong hero of the age, striding with a flaming sword across the darkened land, and armies flocking to his call as he marched to overthrow Barad-dûr. But then, and this is crucial, the vision shifts. And then all the clouds rolled away, and the white sun shone, and at his command the Vale of Gorgoroth became a garden of flowers and trees and brought forth fruit. He had only to put on the ring and claim it for his own, and all this could be his. A garden, not armies, not conquest, not dominion over nations. A garden. This is the genius of Tolkien's understanding of corruption. The ring does not offer the same temptation to everyone. It personalizes its assault. To Boromir, it promised military victory and the salvation of Gondor. To Galadriel, it offered the power to preserve Lothlorien forever, to rule as a queen beautiful and terrible. To Gandalf, it whispered of the ability to wield ultimate force for good, to make the world obey his wisdom. And to Sam, it offered a garden, because that is what Sam loves. Not power for its own sake, but the simple beauty of growing things, the satisfaction of nurturing life from the soil, the peace of a well-tended land. The ring is cunning. It knows that Sam would reject a crown. So it does not offer one. Instead, it offers him the chance to be what he already is, a gardener, but magnified to godlike proportions, the caretaker of all Middle-earth. And for a moment, Sam is tempted. Tolkien tells us, in that hour of trial, it was the love of his master that helped most to hold him firm, but also deep down in him lived, still unconquered, his plain hobbit sense. Love and common sense. These are what saved Sam in the true timeline. His love for Frodo pulled him back from the brink. His hobbit sense, the earthy, pragmatic wisdom that knows when something is too good to be true, cut through the ring's lies. But what if, in the fires of Mount Doom, those defenses failed? What if Sam's love for Frodo became the reason he took the ring, not to claim it for himself, but to save Frodo from it? What if, seeing his master consumed by the ring's power, Sam believed the only way to end the quest was to take the burden himself? What if his hobbit sense, worn down by exhaustion, starvation, and the sheer weight of hopelessness, could not muster the strength to resist? Tolkien's letters provide further insight. He wrote extensively about the nature of hobbits, their resistance to corruption, their lack of ambition, their resilience in the face of despair. But he also acknowledged their limits. Hobbits are not immune to evil. They are simply less susceptible than most other races. But less susceptible is not the same as immune. And the One Ring is not ordinary evil. It is the concentrated will of Sauron himself, the distilled essence of domination, forged with a fragment of Morgoth's malice still lingering in the world. It is a weapon designed to break anyone, elves, men, dwarves, Maiar. even hobbits. Especially when they are pushed beyond all endurance, standing in the very place where the ring was made, where its power is at its absolute peak. So the question is not, could Sam have been corrupted? The question is, what would that corruption look like? How would the ring twist a heart as pure as Samwise Gamgee's? What form would his fall take? What horrors would unfold if the most loyal soul in Middle-earth succumbed to the most insidious evil ever forged? The answers lie ahead, on a path that should never have been walked. And in those rules lies Sam's first moment of doom. The moment Sam's fingers close around the ring, everything changes. Not in the world, not yet, but in Sam himself. At first, there is only the physical sensation. The gold is hot, almost burning, though it should have cooled in Frodo's absence. It seems to pulse in his hand, alive, aware. Its weight is impossible. How did Mr. Frodo carry this for so long? It's heavier than stone, denser than iron, as if the entire mass of the earth has been compressed into this single circle of gold. Sam's breath comes in short, sharp gasps. The heat of the chamber presses against him from all sides. Frodo has collapsed to his knees, staring up at Sam with eyes that hold confusion, betrayal, and, worst of all, a terrible understanding. "Sam!" Frodo's voice is barely a whisper. "What have you done?" Sam wants to answer. He wants to explain. "I'm saving you, Mr. Frodo. I'm finishing what we came here to do." "You couldn't do it, so I must." But the words die in his throat because the ring is speaking. Not in words, not exactly. It's more like a presence, a pressure inside his mind, shaping his thoughts before he can fully form them. It's gentle at first, almost comforting, like a hand on his shoulder, like his mother's voice long ago soothing him after a nightmare. "You did the right thing, Sam. You saved him. You saved them all." Sam blinks. His vision blurs, then sharpens with unnatural clarity. The chamber seems brighter now, the shadows less oppressive. He can see every detail with perfect precision. The veins of ore in the stone walls, the ripples in the lava below, the individual strands of Frodo's hair, matted with sweat and grime. And beyond the chamber, his awareness extends further. He can feel the mountain around him, the vast network of tunnels and passages, the armies of Mordor moving in the plains below. He can sense the weight of Sauron's will, pressing down on the world like a suffocating blanket. But he is not crushed by it. Instead, he feels strong. The exhaustion that has plagued him for weeks, the hunger, the thirst, the bone-deep weariness fades. Not completely, but enough. Enough to stand straighter. Enough to breathe easier. Enough to think clearly for the first time since entering Mordor. The ring whispers again, softer now, more intimate. "You see, you are stronger with me. Frodo was too weak, but you can bear it." Sam shakes his head, trying to clear it. This is wrong. He knows it's wrong. The ring is evil. Gandalf said so. Mr. Frodo said so. Everyone said so. But then why does it feel so right? He looks down at the ring in his palm. It gleams in the firelight, beautiful and terrible. And as he stares at it, images begin to flood his mind. He sees the Shire. But not the Shire as it was when he left, quiet, peaceful content. He sees it transformed, elevated, perfected. The gardens of Hobbiton bloom with flowers that never wilt. The fields yield harvests beyond imagining, golden wheat and fat pumpkins, and apples so red they seem to glow. The trees grow tall and strong, their branches heavy with fruit. The rivers run clean and clear, teeming with fish. And overseeing it all, ensuring that every plant receives exactly what it needs, that every blade of grass is precisely where it should be, is Sam himself. Not as a tyrant. Not as a lord demanding tribute. As a gardener, the greatest gardener who ever lived. He walks through the fields, and at his touch, seeds sprout instantly. He speaks to the trees, and they bend to his will, shaping themselves into beautiful forms. He commands the rain, and it falls exactly when and where it is needed. Droughts become impossible. Blight cannot exist. Weeds dare not grow. The Shire is perfect. And it is all because of him. The vision expands. He sees beyond Hobbiton, beyond the Shire's borders. He sees all of Eriador, the ruins of Arnor, the desolate lands that were once green and fertile. With the ring's power, he could restore them. He could make the whole of Middle-earth into a garden. No more war, no more suffering, no more darkness, just peace, growth, beauty. All he has to do is keep the ring. Sam staggers, his legs suddenly weak. He clutches the ring tighter and the vision intensifies. Now he sees the mechanism by which this would be accomplished. He sees himself commanding Sauron's armies, turning them from engines of destruction into forces of cultivation. Orcs laboring in the fields, their rage channeled into productive work. Trolls hauling water, their strength used to build rather than destroy. And if they resist, if they refuse, then he will make them obey. The thought should horrify him. It should snap him back to reality, remind him that this is exactly what Sauron would do: dominate, control, force the world to conform to his vision. But the ring soothes that concern away. You are not Sauron. You are good. You are kind. Your vision is pure, and pure intentions justify any means necessary to achieve them. Sam's hands tremble. The ring grows warmer in his grasp, almost as if it's pleased. Frodo crawls toward him, one hand outstretched. "Sam, please, you have to destroy it, you have to." Sam looks down at his master, his former master, and for the first time he sees Frodo not as a friend but as an obstacle, a threat to the garden. And in the glow of Mount Doom, Sam begins to believe it. The ring does not wait for Sam to fully accept its vision. It presses forward, building on the foundation it has already laid, weaving layer upon layer of seductive possibility into his mind. The Shire, always the Shire, because that is Sam's heart, that is his home. And the ring knows that if it can convince Sam that power serves the Shire, then Sam will serve power. The vision shifts, becomes more detailed, more intimate. Sam sees Bag End, restored and beautiful. He sees the party tree, fuller and more magnificent than ever before, its branches spreading wide to shade the entire field. He sees the gardens. Oh, the gardens, rows of flowers in colors that don't exist in nature, vegetables of impossible size and perfection, herbs so potent their fragrance fills the air like perfume. He sees his old gaffer, bent with age, straightening as Sam approaches. The years fall away from the old hobbit's face. His back unbends. His hands, gnarled and stiff with arthritis, become supple again. He smiles, a smile of wonder and gratitude. "You did it, Sam lad. You saved us all." Sam's heart swells. This is what he's wanted all along, isn't it? Not glory, not recognition, just to see his father healthy again, to see his home thriving, to know that the people he loves are safe, and with the ring he can guarantee that safety. Forever. The vision expands again. Now he sees threats, potential threats, future threats. He sees the borders of the Shire, vulnerable, undefended. In the true timeline, after Saruman's fall, ruffians invaded the Shire, bringing violence and oppression to its peaceful lanes. The scouring of the Shire, a wound that took years to heal. But with the ring, such an invasion would be impossible. Sam sees himself standing at the borders, the ring on his finger, and no enemy can pass. They try, men, orcs, bandits, thieves, but they cannot cross. An invisible wall stops them, turns them back, fills them with such dread that they flee and never return. The Shire is safe, isolated, protected, sealed away from the dangers of the wider world. And if that means no one can leave, well, isn't that a small price to pay? Sam shakes his head again, harder this time. Something is wrong with that thought. The Shire isn't a prison. Hobbits should be free to come and go as they please. Bilbo traveled. Frodo traveled. Sam himself traveled. But the ring counters smoothly. And look what happened when they did. They suffered. They were hurt. Bilbo was never the same after his adventure. Frodo is broken, perhaps beyond repair. And you have seen horrors no hobbit should ever witness. Wouldn't it be better if no one ever had to leave again? Wouldn't it be kinder to keep them safe, even if they don't understand why? Sam's resistance wavers. There is a terrible logic to it. He thinks of little Alanna, his sister's daughter, laughing in the sunshine, innocent and pure. Would he want her to face the darkness he has faced? Would he want any child of the Shire to see what he has seen? No, never. The ring purrs with satisfaction, then keep them safe. Use your power to ensure they never have to choose danger. You know what's best for them. You've seen the world. You've suffered so they don't have to. You are their protector, their guardian, their king. The word reverberates through Sam's mind like a bell. King. No, not king. Hobbits don't have kings, but something like it. Mayor, perhaps. Mayor for life. Or warden. Caretaker. Guardian of the Shire. The titles don't matter. What matters is the authority. The ability to make decisions for the good of all, even when they don't agree. Especially when they don't agree. Because Sam knows. He's seen what evil looks like. He walked through its heartland. And he cannot allow it to touch the Shire ever again, even if it means controlling every aspect of life within its borders. Even if it means making choices for others that they would not make for themselves. Even if it means becoming, in effect, the very thing he set out to destroy. But he won't be like Sauron. He won't be cruel. He won't torture or enslave. He'll simply guide, direct, cultivate. The way a gardener prunes a plant, cutting away the diseased branches so the healthy ones can thrive. The ring shows him more. It shows him the mechanics of this new Shire, not just the beauty but the order, the perfect order. Every hobbit in their proper place doing the work best suited to them. No waste, no inefficiency. No crime, because crime stems from want, and under Sam's rule, no one would want for anything. It would be paradise. A gilded cage whispers a small voice in the back of Sam's mind, his own voice faint and desperate. But even that voice is fading. The ring is warm now, almost hot. It wants to be worn. It wants to be claimed. Sam lifts his hand, bringing the ring closer to his finger. Frodo cries out, a broken sound of anguish. And somewhere far above, beneath the blackened sky of Mordor, the eye of Sauron snaps into sudden, terrible focus. But every dream offered by the ring ends in fire. Sam, no. Frodo's voice cuts through the vision like a blade, sharp and desperate. For a moment, just a moment, Sam hesitates. He looks down at his master, crumpled on the stone floor, hand outstretched in pleading. Frodo's eyes are wide, brimming with tears that trace clean lines through the grime on his face. In those eyes, Sam sees everything they've been through together, every step of the journey, every moment of shared suffering and stubborn hope. He sees the friend he swore to protect. And for that instant, love is stronger than the ring. Sam's hand falters. The ring hovers inches from his finger, trembling. I caw. I can't do this to him. But then Frodo speaks again, and his words, meant to save, become the final push toward damnation. You don't understand what it's like, Sam. The ring will destroy you. Please, please, give it to me. Let me finish this. Give it to me. Those 4 words seal both their fates, because the ring seizes on them immediately, twisting them, reshaping them into proof of the narrative it has been building. You see, he wants it back. He's not thinking of you. He's not thinking of the quest. He's thinking of his precious. He's already lost to it. And if you give it back, he'll claim it again. He'll never destroy it. You know he won't. You saw what happened. The only way to end this is to do it yourself. Sam's hesitation crumbles. The ring is right. Frodo already tried to claim the ring. He stood at the edge of the fire and refused to let it go. If Sam gives it back, the same thing will happen again. Or worse. What if Frodo puts on the ring and flees? What if he uses its power to escape the mountain, to hide somewhere Sauron will eventually find him? What if everything they've suffered, everything they've sacrificed, is for nothing? No, Sam cannot allow that. He pulls his hand back, clutching the ring protectively against his chest. I'm sorry, Mr. Frodo, he says, and his voice sounds strange to his own ears, harder, colder. But I can't give it back. You're not thinking straight. The ring's got you all twisted up. I have to finish this, for both of us. Frodo's expression shifts from pleading to shock to something far worse. Fear. He is afraid of Sam, and the ring whispers, good. Fear means he won't interfere. Sam, Frodo's voice breaks. You're my friend, my dearest friend. Please don't let it take you. Fight it. I know you can fight it. But Sam barely hears him. The vision of the Shire has returned, brighter and more vivid than before. And now it includes a new detail, a detail that makes Sam's blood run cold. He sees Frodo back in the Shire, but he is not well. The ring has left scars on him that will never heal. He is haunted, broken, unable to find peace even in the home he fought so hard to save. He suffers, day after day, reliving the torment of the quest, and it's all because of the ring. But if Sam keeps the ring, if he uses its power to heal the Shire, to protect it, to make it perfect, then he can heal Frodo too. He can take away his master's pain. He can give him the peace he deserves. All he has to do is hold on to the ring long enough to finish the work. And then, once the Shire is safe, once everything is as it should be, then he'll destroy it. Yes, that's the answer. The ring practically sings with triumph. Yes, Sam, finish the work first. Protect what you love. And then, when it's safe, you can let me go. I promise. The lie is so transparent that even a child could see through it. But Sam, exhausted and overwhelmed, desperate to believe there is a way to save both his master and his home, accepts it. He takes a step back from the edge of the fire. Frodo's face goes white. No, Sam, you have to. I will, Sam insists. But not yet, not until I've made things right. He turns toward the mouth of the chamber, where the tunnel leads back down through the mountain. He can feel the weight of Sauron's gaze beginning to press against him, a vast and terrible attention turning his way. But he also feels the ring's power rising to meet it. He is not helpless, not anymore. He is armed. Frodo tries to rise to follow, but his strength is gone. He collapses again, weeping openly now. Sam, please, I love you, don't do this, don't leave me. Sam pauses at the threshold. Those words, I love you, cut deeper than any wound he has ever received. They are the last tether holding him to who he was, but the ring is stronger. He's too weak to help you now, and if you stay, you'll both be lost. Go, do what must be done, save the Shire, save Middle-earth, save yourself. Sam takes one last look at Frodo, and in his eyes is a terrible mixture of love, pity, and something new, something poisonous. Contempt. Contempt for weakness, for failure, for the inability to do what had to be done. And then he turns and walks into the darkness, leaving Frodo alone in the Chamber of Fire. At last, Sam must choose, destroy the ring, or protect his precious vision. Sam does not make it far. The tunnel is narrow, choked with heat and smoke. His eyes sting. His lungs burn. But he moves forward with grim determination, the ring clenched tightly in his fist. He will escape the mountain. He will make his way to safety. And then, once he is strong enough, once he understands how to wield the ring properly, he will reshape Middle-earth. But there is something else moving in the tunnel. Something that has been waiting, watching, lurking in the shadows with the patience of a creature that has already lost everything except the burning need to reclaim what was taken from it. Gollum. He comes out of the darkness like a nightmare-given form, eyes bulging, teeth bared, hands reaching with desperate hunger. He does not speak. He does not hiss threats or plead for mercy. He simply attacks. The impact drives Sam against the stone wall. Stars explode across his vision. Gollum's fingers claw at Sam's hand, trying to pry open his grip on the ring. Give it to us. It's ours, ours. Sam roars, a sound he has never made before, primal and furious, and shoves Gollum back. The strength that fills him is unnatural, fueled by the ring's power. Gollum is thrown several feet, slamming into the opposite wall with a sickening crack. But Gollum does not stop. Pain means nothing. Injury means nothing. Only the ring matters. He lunges again. This time Sam is ready. His fist, still clutching the ring, comes up in a brutal arc, catching Gollum across the jaw. There is a sound like breaking pottery. Gollum spins, crashes to the ground, and lies still for a moment. Sam stands over him, breathing hard. The ring pulses in his hand, warm and eager. Finish it. He'll never stop. He'll hunt you forever. Kill him. Kill him now. Sam's other hand reaches for Sting, the elven blade at his hip. The sword slides free with a whisper of steel. Gollum stirs, groaning. Blood drips from his mouth. His eyes, when they open, are filled with pain and madness and something that might, in another life, have been pity. Precious, he whimpers. We only wanted our precious. Sam raises Sting. The blade gleams in the dim light, reflecting the glow of the lava far below. One strike. That's all it would take. One thrust, and Gollum would be gone. The creature who betrayed them, who led them into Shelob's lair, who has been nothing but a curse and a burden since the day Frodo showed him mercy. The same mercy Gandalf spoke of long ago in the mines of Moria. Many that live deserve death, and some that die deserve life. Can you give it to them? Then do not be too eager to deal out death in judgment. Sam hesitates. Gollum takes that hesitation as an opportunity. With a shriek, he throws himself at Sam once more, his teeth snapping toward Sam's throat. Instinct takes over. Sam doesn't think. He doesn't choose. Sting comes up, and Gollum impales himself on the blade. There is a moment of terrible stillness. Gollum's eyes go wide, his mouth opening in a silent scream. His hands, still reaching for the ring, tremble and then go slack. Sam stares in horror at what he has done. He releases Sting. Gollum slides off the blade and collapses, twitching once, then still. Sam backs away, his hands shaking. He has killed before orcs, yes, in defense of Frodo in the heat of battle. But this feels different. This feels like murder. The ring, however, has no such qualms. Good, well done, one threat eliminated. Now nothing stands between you and your destiny. Sam looks down at the ring, still gleaming in his palm, and for a moment he feels a surge of revulsion so strong it nearly makes him retch. What is he becoming? But the ring soothes him as it always does. You did what was necessary. He would have killed you. He would have taken me. And then everything would have been lost. You are a protector, Sam. That's all you've ever been. Protecting Frodo, protecting the quest, and now protecting the future. Do not feel guilt for doing what must be done. Sam's breathing slows. The horror recedes, replaced by a cold, hard certainty. Gollum is dead. The quest continues. And somewhere high above, in the Tower of Barad-dûr, Sauron's attention sharpens. For he has felt the ring move. He has felt its power awakening in the hands of a new bearer. And the eye turns fully toward Mount Doom. And atop the fire, the ring demands, "Claim your right." Sam stumbles out of the Samath nor into the blasted landscape of Gorgoroth, and the world holds its breath. The sky above is black with smoke and ash. The plains stretch endlessly in all directions, scarred and lifeless. The armies of Mordor churn below, thousands upon thousands of orcs, trolls, and worse things, marching toward the Black Gate where the forces of the West make their doomed stand. But Sam does not see them. Not yet. All he sees is the ring. He has slipped it onto his finger. The transformation is immediate and overwhelming. His senses explode outward, expanding beyond the limits of mortal perception. He can feel the mountain beneath him, the network of tunnels and chambers, the molten core still churning below. He can feel the plains, the armies, the fortresses of Mordor spread across the land. And he can feel Sauron. The Dark Lord's presence is like a storm, vast and crushing, bearing down on him with the weight of ages. It is not a physical force, but a mental one, a will so immense, so absolute, that it makes Sam's previous understanding of power seem laughable. Sauron knows. He knows the ring has been claimed. He knows a new bearer has arisen, and he is furious. But he is also confused, because the bearer is not who he expected. Not Aragorn, son of kings, wielding the ring as a weapon of war. Not Gandalf, the Maya, bending its power to his ancient will. Not even Galadriel, who would have become terrible and beautiful beyond imagining. A hobbit. The same small, insignificant creature that Sauron has underestimated since the beginning. The same race that he dismissed as irrelevant, incapable of affecting his designs. And now one of them holds his greatest weapon. The eye turns. Fully. Completely. The vast malice that has been focused on the armies at the Black Gate, the siege of Minas Tirith, the scattered remnants of resistance across Middle-earth, all of it collapses into a single point, focused entirely on Sam. The pressure is unimaginable. Sam falls to his knees, gasping. It feels as though a mountain has been placed on his shoulders, as though the weight of all the darkness in the world is pressing down on him, trying to crush him into dust. But the ring fights back. It channels power into Sam, more power than any mortal was meant to hold. His vision sharpens. His mind clears. And for the first time in his life, Sam is not afraid. He is angry. Angry at Sauron for creating this horror. Angry at Morgoth before him for poisoning the world. angry at all the evil that has caused so much suffering, that has hurt the people he loves. And with the ring, he can fight that evil. He rises to his feet, trembling with effort but standing. The ring flares on his finger, and for a moment, just a moment, the eye recoils. Sauron has not expected resistance. Not from a hobbit. The Dark Lords will hammers down again, harder this time. Images flood Sam's mind, visions of torment, of the Shire burning, of everyone he loves screaming in agony. Sauron is trying to break him, to shatter his will, to force him to surrender the ring. But Sam does not break, because the ring has given him something Sauron cannot counter: purpose. Sam sees the vision of the Shire again, clearer and more vivid than ever. He sees himself returning, the ring on his finger, power radiating from him. He sees the Shire safe, protected, invulnerable. And he sees Sauron defeated, not through armies, not through war, through him. Sam, the gardener from Hobbiton, standing against the Dark Lord and winning. The thought is intoxicating, empowering. It fills him with strength beyond measure. The ring whispers, urgent now. You see, you are stronger than he expected. You can resist him, you can defeat him, but only if you embrace your power fully, only if you claim the ring as your own. Stop resisting. Stop doubting. Accept what you are meant to be. Sam's mind fractures under the pressure. Part of him, the part that is still Samwise Gamgee, loyal and humble, cries out in horror, begging him to stop, to throw the ring into the fire before it's too late. But that part is growing fainter. Drowned out by the ring's voice, which is no longer just a whisper but a roar, filling every corner of his consciousness. You are the Ringbearer. You are the master. The world is yours to shape. And Sam, battered by Sauron's assault, exhausted beyond endurance, desperate for anything that will make the pain stop. Believes it, the ring flares with triumph, and in that instant the balance shifts. Sam is no longer fighting to resist the ring. He is fighting with it, against Sauron, against the darkness. He imagines himself commanding the orcs below, turning them from agents of evil into tools of reconstruction. He imagines storming Barad-dûr, casting Sauron down, reclaiming Mordor and remaking it into something beautiful. He imagines himself as the savior of Middle-earth. And the ring feeds that delusion, nurtures it, makes it feel not just possible but inevitable. Far below, on the plains of Gorgoroth, the orcish armies falter. They feel the shift. They sense that something has changed, that the power they serve has been challenged. Some flee, others halt in confusion. A few, the strongest-willed, turn toward Mount Doom, driven by instinct to reclaim the ring. But they are too late. Sam is no longer on the mountain. He is descending, moving with speed and purpose, the ring blazing on his finger. And behind him, the fires of Mount Doom burn on, unfed. The ring will not return to them. Not today. Perhaps not ever. But the ring crowns no hobbit without a price. The war between Sam and Sauron is not fought with swords or armies. It is fought in the realm of will, a battle of minds, of spirits, of absolute conviction against absolute dominion. And it is a battle Sam cannot win. Sauron is no ordinary enemy. He is a Maya, one of the Ainur, a being who existed before the world was made. His power, even diminished by the loss of the ring, is vast beyond mortal comprehension. He has spent thousands of years perfecting the art of domination, of breaking wills, of reshaping minds to serve him. And now, with the ring active again, he has a direct connection to its bearer. The assault begins in earnest. Sam staggers through the ashen wasteland, each step a monumental effort. The ring on his finger is both weapon and shackle. It gives him the strength to resist, but it also opens his mind to Sauron's influence. The Dark Lord does not attack with brute force alone. He is far too cunning for that. Instead, he attacks with doubt. You think you can resist me, little halfling. You think your love for your garden is stronger than my will. I have broken elves. I have corrupted men. I have bent dragons to my service. What are you but a servant, a gardener, a nobody? The words cut deeper than any blade, because they echo Sam's own fears he has carried since the beginning of the quest. He is not special. He is not a hero. He is just Sam, the gardener's son, who happened to be in the wrong place at the wrong time. The ring counters, desperate now. Do not listen, you are strong. You have come further than anyone expected. You have earned this power. But Sauron's voice drowns it out. You have earned nothing. The ring is mine, forged by my hand, imbued with my essence. You are nothing but a thief, holding what does not belong to you, and I will have it back. The pressure intensifies. Sam falls to his knees again, his hands pressed to his temples. His mind feels like it's being torn apart, pulled in two directions at once. Part of him still clings to the vision of the Shire, to the belief that he can use the ring for good, that he can finish what Frodo could not. But another part, growing larger by the moment, begins to understand the truth. He is nothing compared to Sauron. The Dark Lord has existed for ages uncounted. He has commanded armies, toppled kingdoms, shaped the fate of nations. He is power incarnate. And Sam is a hobbit, small, insignificant, utterly out of his depth. The ring, sensing its bearer's faltering will, makes one final attempt to save itself, and in doing so, dooms them both. It floods Sam's mind with visions of power so vast, so overwhelming, that his fragile mortal consciousness cannot contain it. He sees himself as a god. He sees the world remade in his image. He sees the Shire, yes, but also Gondor, Rohan, Rivendell, all of Middle-earth transformed, perfected, forced into obedience. He sees himself sitting on a throne of gold, the ring burning on his finger, and all the peoples of the world bowing before him. And for an instant, one terrible, damning instant, Sam wants it. That instant is all Sauron needs. The Dark Lords will crashes down like a hammer, and this time there is no resistance left to offer. Sam's mind shatters, not all at once, not completely. But the core of who he is, Samwise Gamgee, loyal friend, humble gardener, hero of the Shire, cracks and splinters under the weight. The ring, no longer able to sustain him, begins to dominate completely. And Sam becomes something else. Not an orc, not a wraith, but a hollow thing, a shell inhabited by the ring's will, animated by its hunger, no longer fully in control of his own actions. He keeps moving, but he no longer knows where he's going. He keeps thinking, but the thoughts are not entirely his own. He keeps feeling, but the emotions are twisted, distorted beyond recognition. The love he felt for Frodo becomes possessiveness. The loyalty he felt for the quest becomes obsession. The desire to protect the Shire becomes tyranny. And deep inside, buried beneath layers of compulsion and madness, the real Sam, the Sam who just wanted to go home, screams. But no one hears. Sauron, sensing victory, presses harder. He does not try to take the ring by force, not yet. That would require physical presence, and he cannot leave Barad-dûr while his power is still recovering. Instead, he guides Sam. He plants suggestions in his broken mind, subtle and insidious. Come to me. Bring the ring to Barad-dûr. Together we will reshape the world. And Sam, no longer able to distinguish between his own thoughts and Sauron's commands, begins to walk. Not toward the Shire, not toward safety, toward the Dark Tower, toward Sauron, toward the end of all hope. Yet even the bravest heart cannot endure the eye forever. The journey to Barad-dûr takes days, or perhaps hours. Time has lost all meaning for Sam. He walks through a world of ash and shadow, the ring heavy on his finger, Sauron's voice a constant presence in his mind. He no longer feels hunger or thirst. He no longer feels the pain of his wounds or the exhaustion in his limbs. He feels only the ring, and the ring feels only its master. The orcs that he passes do not attack him. They sense the ring's power and recoil, confused and fearful. Some bow. Others flee, none dare approach. Sam does not notice them. His eyes are fixed on the tower in the distance, growing larger with each step. Barad-dûr, the Dark Tower, the seat of Sauron's power. Once the thought of that place would have filled Sam with terror. Now it fills him with a strange, terrible longing, because Sauron has promised him something: purpose, power, an end to suffering. Bring me the ring and I will give you what you desire. The Shire will be yours, protected forever. No harm will ever touch it again. All you have to do is trust me. The lie is transparent. Sauron has no intention of sparing the Shire. He has no intention of sparing Sam. The moment the ring is returned, Sam will be discarded, killed, enslaved, or worse. But Sam no longer has the capacity to see through the lie. His mind is too broken. The ring's influence is too strong, and Sauron's voice is the only thing that makes sense anymore. As he nears the tower, he begins to see visions again. But these are not the hopeful visions of before, the gardens and the beauty and the peace. These are visions of ash. He sees the Shire burning. He sees Bag End in ruins, the party tree felled and rotting. He sees his father dead, his friends dead, the fields salted and barren. And he sees himself standing in the center of it all, the ring on his finger, watching with empty eyes. Because this is what the ring does. This is what it has always done. It promises salvation. It promises power. It promises that you can save what you love, but in the end, it destroys everything you hold dear. Sam begins to weep as he walks. Tears stream down his face, cutting through the grime and ash, but he does not stop. He cannot stop. The ring will not let him. At last, he reaches the gates of Barad Dûr. They loom above him, black iron wrought in the shape of twisted faces, mouths open in silent screams. The gates open, and Sauron's voice, no longer a whisper but a command, fills Sam's mind. Enter, Sam steps inside. The interior of the tower is vast and dark, lit only by distant fires. The air is thick with heat and the stench of sulfur. Shadows move along the walls, servants of the Dark Lord, watching, waiting. And at the far end of the hall, atop a throne of iron, sits a figure cloaked in shadow. Not Sauron himself. He has not yet taken physical form, but an avatar, a presence, a manifestation of will. The Eye. It blazes above the throne, vast and terrible, burning with a light that is not light but something far worse. It is the essence of domination made visible, the concentrated hatred of ages given form. And it is fixed on Sam. Give me the ring. The words are not spoken aloud. They do not need to be. They resonate through every fiber of Sam's being, a command that cannot be disobeyed. Sam's hand moves toward the ring. He is going to do it. He is going to take it off and hand it over. And that will be the end of the quest, the end of hope, the end of everything. But in that final moment, as his fingers touch the golden band, something breaks through the layers of compulsion and madness. A memory, not of the Shire, not of gardens or beauty or peace, a memory of Frodo. Frodo, standing beside him in the Shire, laughing at something Bilbo said. Frodo, reading by the fire in Bag End, lost in one of his books. Frodo, turning to Sam in the darkness of Mordor and saying, I'm glad you're with me, Sam, here at the end of all things. And in that memory, Sam remembers who he is. Not the ring-bearer, not the savior of Middle-earth, just Sam, Frodo's friend. The ring fights back, flooding his mind with visions of power, with promises of glory, with the certainty that he is meant for this. But the memory is stronger, because love, true love, the kind that asks for nothing and gives everything, is the one thing the ring cannot corrupt forever. For a single heartbeat, Sam's will is his own again, and in that heartbeat he makes a choice. He does not give Sauron the ring, but he also does not flee. He also does not resist. Instead, he simply breaks. His mind, already fractured beyond repair, collapses completely. The ring takes over fully, and Samwise Gamgee ceases to exist as a conscious being. He becomes a puppet, a vessel, a tool of the ring's will, waiting for its true master to reclaim it. And Sauron, sensing total victory, laughs. And in that moment, Sauron wins without lifting a finger. The moment the ring returns to Sauron's hand, or rather to his dominion, the world changes. It is not a physical change, though there are signs. The sky darkens further, the fires of Mordor blaze brighter, and the tower of Barad Dûr shudders with a sound like thunder. But the true change is felt in the hearts of all free beings across Middle-earth. The elves in Rivendell and Lothlorien feel it as a sudden cold, a shadow passing over the sun that was not there before. Galadriel, standing in her garden, closes her eyes in grief. She knows what has happened. The quest has failed. In Gondor, the soldiers fighting desperately at the Black Gate feel it as a crushing despair. The hope that had sustained them, fragile but real, gutters like a candle in a storm. Some collapse. Others keep fighting, but their movements are mechanical, hopeless. Aragorn feels it most acutely of all. He stands at the forefront of the battle, Anduril raised high, but when the shift comes, he falters. For a moment, just a moment, he considers surrender. Because there is no point anymore. Sauron has won. In Mordor itself, the armies erupt in triumph. Orcs howl and clash their weapons. Trolls roar. The Nazgul, circling above the battlefield, shriek with joy so terrible it drives men mad. And deep within Barad-dûr, Sauron begins the work of reclaiming his full power. The ring, now restored to him, pours its essence back into his being. He grows stronger by the moment, more solid, more real. The shadow that has cloaked him begins to take shape, a tall, terrible form crowned in flame and clad in iron. He is not yet fully incarnate. That will take time, but he no longer needs to be. With the ring, his will alone is enough to conquer the world. He reaches out and the orcs obey. He speaks, and the Nazgul descend upon his enemies with renewed fury. He thinks, and the very earth trembles. The Free Peoples have no answer for this. They fought valiantly, yes, but their hope was always dependent on one thing, the destruction of the ring. And now that hope is gone. Within weeks, Gondor falls. Minas Tirith, the great city of kings, is besieged and broken. Its walls are cast down, its towers toppled. The White Tree is cut down and burned. Aragorn fights to the last, but even he cannot stand against the full might of Mordor unleashed. He dies on the steps of the citadel, Anduril shattered in his hands, his last words a whisper. "Frodo, forgive me." Rohan is overrun next. The Rohirrim, the greatest cavalry in Middle-earth, are scattered and slaughtered. Eomer falls. Eowyn falls. The fields of the Mark run red with blood, and the horse lords are no more. Rivendell and Lothlorien hold out longer, protected by the power of their rings, Vilya and Nenya. But without the one ring destroyed, the three rings are vulnerable. Sauron's influence seeps into even the most sacred places. The light dims, the songs falter, and slowly, inexorably, the elves begin to fade. Some flee across the sea, abandoning Middle-earth to its fate. Others remain and are hunted down and slain. The age of the elves ends not in glory, but in despair. The Shire, isolated and ignorant of the Great War, is spared for a time. But eventually, Sauron turns his gaze upon it, because the Shire was where the ring-bearer came from, and Sauron does not forget. His armies sweep across Eriador, burning villages, enslaving the survivors. The hobbits, untrained in war, are utterly defenseless. They flee into the hills, into the forests, but there is nowhere to hide. And when the orcs reach Hobbiton, they burn it to the ground. Bag End is destroyed. The party tree is hacked down. The gardens, Sam's gardens, are torn up and salted so that nothing will ever grow there again. It is done not out of strategic necessity, but out of cruelty, out of spite. Because Sauron knows that Sam, even in his broken state, still carries some fragment of awareness. And he wants Sam to see what his failure has wrought. Sam, trapped within his own mind, watches it all through the ring's influence. He sees the Shire burn. He sees his friends die. He sees everything he fought to protect reduced to ash. And he cannot look away. This is his punishment. Not death, which would be a mercy, but eternal awareness of his failure. Eternal witnessing of the destruction his choice has caused. The ring, no longer needing him, keeps him alive for this purpose. To suffer. To remember. To know that he could have prevented this if only he had been stronger. The world enters a new age, the age of shadow. The sun still rises, but it is pale and weak, obscured by smoke and ash. The moon no longer brings comfort, only a dim, sickly light. Sauron rules from Barad-dûr, unchallenged and absolute. His dominion extends from the gray havens to the far reaches of Rhûn, from the frozen wastes of the north to the deserts of Harad. There is no resistance, no rebellion, no hope. And through it all, Sam is forced to watch, a prisoner of the ring, a witness to the end of all things. But even in absolute darkness, a final echo of resistance remains. But the story does not end in total silence. Even in the darkest timelines, there are those who refuse to yield. In hidden places, caves deep beneath the mountains, forgotten ruins in the wilderness, small pockets of resistance endure. They are not armies. They are not kingdoms. They are survivors, clinging to life, clinging to memory, clinging to the faint, desperate hope that someday, somehow, the darkness will end. Among them are members of the fellowship that once was. Legolas the elf moves through the shadowed forests like a ghost. His kindred are gone, fled, or slain, but he remains. He does not fight out of hope. He fights because it is all he knows how to do. Every orc he slays is a small defiance, a refusal to surrender completely. Gimli, the dwarf, has retreated into the depths of the glittering caves. His people have sealed themselves away, hidden behind stone and iron. They will endure, he tells himself. Dwarves always endure. But even he knows it is only a matter of time before Sauron's armies dig them out. Gandalf is gone. The White Wizard fell in the final defense of Minas Tirith, his staff broken, his light extinguished. Some say he returned to Valinor in spirit. Others say he was consumed entirely, his essence scattered beyond recovery. No one knows for certain. And Frodo? Frodo survived the fall of Mount Doom. Barely. He was found by a patrol of orcs, delirious and near death, and dragged back to Mordor as a prisoner. Sauron did not kill him. That too would have been a mercy. Instead, Frodo is kept alive, barely as a testament to Sauron's victory. A broken, hollow thing displayed occasionally to remind the world what happens to those who dare defy the Dark Lord. The Fellowship, such as it is, dreams of rescuing him. They plan impossible raids, desperate gambits. Legolas and Gimli speak of storming Barad-dûr itself, but they know it is hopeless. Frodo is beyond saving. Middle-earth is beyond saving. And yet they do not give up. Because that is what the Fellowship was always about, not victory but defiance. Not success, but the refusal to surrender. The insistence against all evidence and all reason that the fight is worth continuing, even when it is not. In the ruins of what was once the Shire, a handful of hobbits survive. They live in hiding, scavenging for food, avoiding the orc patrols that hunt them for sport. Among them is Merry and Pippin. They do not speak of Sam. The name is too painful. They loved him, trusted him, followed him into darkness, and he failed them. But late at night, when the fires have burned low and the world is silent, Merry sometimes whispers a question to Pippin. Do you think he meant to do it? Do you think he wanted this? Pippin never answers, because he doesn't know. None of them do. All they know is that Sam took the ring, and the world ended because of it. Far away in the depths of Barad-dûr, Sam still exists, or something that was once Sam. He does not speak. He does not move unless commanded. He is a shadow, a shell, a thing that has forgotten what it was to be alive. But deep inside, buried so far down that even the ring cannot reach it, there is a spark, a memory. A single moment of love and friendship, preserved like an ember beneath ash. It is not enough to save him. It is not enough to change what has happened, but it is enough to hurt. And in a world ruled by Sauron, where suffering is currency and despair is law, perhaps that is the truest form of resistance. To remember, to mourn, to feel, even when feeling is agony. The Fellowship fights on, not because they believe they can win, but because surrender would mean forgetting. And as long as they remember who they were, remember what they fought for, remember the friends they lost, Sauron's victory is not complete. It never will be. For evil can conquer the world. It can crush kingdoms, extinguish light, and reign unchallenged for ages. But it cannot erase love. And the world wakes to a dawn without light. So why did this not happen? Why, in the true history of Middle-earth, did Sam not take the ring at Mount Doom? The answer is both simple and profound. Because when the moment came, when Frodo stood at the edge of the fire and claimed the ring for himself, when every instinct screamed at Sam to act, to intervene, to do something, Sam chose differently. He did not reach for the ring. He did not try to overpower Frodo. He simply waited. And in that waiting, that moment of agonizing restraint, he trusted. Trusted that something, fate, providence, the mercy of Iluvatar would intervene. That the quest, which had come so far against all odds, would not end in failure. And he was right. because Gollum, driven by his obsession, attacked Frodo. And in the struggle, the ring was severed from Frodo's hand. And Gollum, clutching his precious at last, fell into the fires of Mount Doom, taking the ring with him. The quest succeeded not because of strength, but because of weakness. Not because of power, but because of pity. Frodo had spared Gollum long ago when he had every reason to kill him. And that mercy, undeserved, irrational, foolish by any practical measure, became the mechanism of salvation. This is the heart of Tolkien's vision. The world is not saved by heroes wielding great weapons. It is not saved by kings or wizards or warriors. It is saved by small acts of mercy, by compassion extended to the unworthy, by the refusal, even in the darkest hour, to become what you are fighting against. Sam understood this. Not intellectually, perhaps. He was no scholar, but instinctively in the core of his being. He knew that taking the ring, even with the best intentions, would make him something other than himself. And so he resisted. He endured. He trusted. And because of that trust, the world endured. The alternate timeline we have walked is a shadow, a reminder of how fragile the line between salvation and ruin truly is. A single choice made differently would have doomed everything. But the choice was made correctly, and Middle-earth was saved, not by power, not by domination, not by a gardener who became a king, but by a gardener who remained a gardener, who returned to the Shire not as a conqueror but as a healer, who planted trees where they had been cut down, who nurtured the land back to life, who served as mayor not because he sought power, but because his friends needed him. And when the time came, when the wounds of the quest proved too deep to fully heal, Sam let Frodo go. He watched his dearest friend sail into the west, seeking the peace that Middle-earth could no longer provide. And though it broke his heart, Sam did not try to follow. Not yet, because there was still work to be done. A Shire to rebuild, a garden to tend. A life to live, not in pursuit of greatness, but in quiet service to those he loved. That is the true heroism of Samwise Gamgee. Not that he resisted the ring's temptation, though he did. Not that he carried Frodo up the slopes of Mount Doom, though he did. But that he chose again and again to be small, to be humble, to be ordinary even when the ring offered him the chance to be extraordinary. And in that choice, he saved the world. This alternate history, dark as it is, serves a purpose. It reminds us that the victories we celebrate were never inevitable. That the heroes we remember were not guaranteed to succeed. That the line between light and darkness is thin. And that every choice matters. Middle-earth was saved not by destiny, but by the courage of ordinary people who chose mercy over power, love over fear, and sacrifice over glory. And in the end, that is enough. For in the end, Middle-earth was saved not by might, but by a hobbit who never sought a crown.